Muthu, and it can be a bit awkward to play if you've never faced him before.
Yeah, that is what Kushal Patel thought. He just stepped one or two steps in front. Because of the action, the ball skidded to him. That is why he got the inside edge. The ball going towards the fine neck boundary, but 2 runs taken. Good fielding effort by the fielder there. Nicely driven. There's a sweeper cover out there in the boundary on the offside.
Paresh, how big is this tournament, not just for Nepal with the home crowd and all of their hopes and dreams, but for all 8 of the teams? Doesn't get bigger than a 20-team T20 World Cup next year.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. The last time Neapl played the T20 World Cup was 2014. So if they qualify, it'll be after 10 years they're going to play the T20 World Cup. And it means a lot to the Nepali fans, the Nepali whole country as a whole.
And there'll be 8 teams battling it out for 2 places. Just a quick update from the other ground, the Mopani ground. Bahrain posting 135 for 6 against the UAE. Having been asked to bat first, they were in real trouble losing 3 early wickets. But they have picked up a wicket already, and it's the big one. Mohammad Wasim has been claimed by Rizwan Butt, who I named as one of my players to watch in the tournament. A few good selections there, haven't I? With Rizwan Butt. Who did I go with for Singapore? Janak Prakash, he hasn't done that well. Gave Ayan Khan a shout from UAE. And defender Singh Rio out with, he's injured. Oh no, a mixed start maybe to my calls.
You're the man, Lenny. A good pick.
You too, Paresh. Great to be here with us. Muthu just gets one to bounce a little more. It's only 7.3 and over. That required run rate won't pose a threat to Nepal, but what do you want to see in this chase from them?
I just want to see a compact batting by these 2 openers to start off with, and then who's going to play at number 3? That is the big question for the Nepali batting lineup. Either it's going to be Sompal Khani or Kushal Malla. Nicely batted down. After 2, Nepal 18 for no loss.
What about the batting order as we take a look at the Nepal squad for today's game? This isn't in batting order, this is just the team as a whole. What would you imagine? Do you think it's going to be Kushal Malla at 3, the Sompal Khani experiment? Surely that's second.
Actually, it depends how the start is for Nepal, how the openers start for Nepal, then they will decide. Number 4, I think number 4 will be but number 3 position can be mixed bag. Like say Kushal Malla can come in. They might send in Sompal Khani again just to see, because he has a very good cricketing technique, batting technique. That is why they wanted him to play at number 3.
And are you saying that it depends on the situation as to how early the first wicket falls?
Yes, exactly. How these 2 openers go about the chase. If the wicket falls early, I think probably Sompal Khani can come in. Kulsan Jha, I think he's named as the finisher, and even Sundip Zora as a finisher as well. So it can be either Kushal Malla or Sompal Khani. And Rohit Fowler will be at number 4.
An immediate change in bowling. Janak Prakash taken out of the attack. The young left arm seamer Aryanveer Chowdhury, who was so impressive with the bats, he's given a chance with the ball already. Lovely to hear all your messages coming in. Got to give this one a shout out. Come on, look at this, Paresh. Binod Bakash Simkada. He says he's watching the match in London live on ICC.tv. It's a work day, but I woke up at 3 a.m. to support Nepal. That's the dedication of the Rhinos fans.
Yeah, that's the dedication of Rhino fan. He's the only one we've heard the message from. Up in the air, there's a fielder going around it, but I don't think they're going to take it. 2 runs easily taken by Kushal Patel. Talking about the fans in the US. I don't think he's the only one who woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning. There are lots of fans who have woken up from US early in the morning and they're watching live.
Yeah, huge numbers watching live here on Kantapur TV HD in Nepal and around the world on ICC TV. Fan go down in India. Good use of the feet from Bertel, although he didn't get out of the middle of that. Tries to repeat the dose. Big swing and a miss this time. Yeah, we do love hearing your messages and hearing where you're watching from, the scale of your support. What about the Singapore fans? Do get in touch. You can use that hashtag T20 World Cup. So we're building up towards next year. Or get in touch directly on Instagram or Twitter via @cricketbadge. It's me, Andrew Leonard. I've got Paresh Lahani alongside me for every game here at the TU. We have a lot of overs under our belt by the end of this week. Paresh, but we're going to love every second of bringing you the coverage. Doing it out around the corner, and then out it goes brilliantly. How has that gone for 6? What a shot from Crucial Bertel, and he looks back to his belligerent best, the football boss. Having must be such an experience for someone like Chowdhury. You won't have played in front of a crowd or anything like a crowd of this size before. It's as partisan as well as it is the opposition. End of the third, 31 for none. Singapore have been fighting hard. Are Neapl going to outclass them in the second innings? Do you expect a comfortable chase here?
Unless they take 2 or 3 wickets inside the power, difficult task for Nepal, but in the current situation, Nepal is going to comfortably chase this target. These 2 opening batters have been brilliant for Nepal for the last 9-10 months. Away, down the back of point, 1 bounce. Nicely fielded by the fielder down to sweeper cover. I think they have kept a very good field. He bowls short ball outside the arsenal. That is why the sweeper cover has been placed. It's a good field. Continue bowling that Kalimutu is doing. 4 runs off his first over. Good ball. Dot ball.
Yeah, I think already we're seeing, we're only 23, 24 overs into the competition, but we're seeing a clear trend for me that pace on the ball is going to create run scoring opportunities. I just wonder, will teams already look at how they use their spinners, the propensity of them that they use and they select, and when they use them. I was really surprised to see no Kushal Mal in that first innings. We had that injury to Dipender Singh Ari that deprived Neapl of that option, but even the part-time off breaks of Rohit Powell would have been a good choice with the left-hander at the crease. Pace on the ball is going the distance. Thuds into the side screen for an almighty maximum. Crucial Bertel, we've christened him the Butwell boss. That's a shot of dominant stature.
People's head for a 6. Straight to the side screen. Unbelievable. This is what Kushal Burtel is all about. He manufactures shot early in the innings. That is why he'll give a headache to the bowlers where to bowl at him. He just walks down the track and then plays it from the crease behind the stumps. That's incredible.
Quite an impact into the side screen, maybe. Bertel dent. As the 6 is followed up with a single. Clever batting from the opener. These two over the course of the last, well, really sort of 24 months since Bertel's debut offered such solidity and consistency at the top in both formats for Nepal.
Yes, they have. Mind you, Nepal played a T20 match after more than a year. Nicely driven by Asif Sheikh. Another boundary. 12 runs off the over, the fourth over. Nepal 43 for no loss.
Well, it's a sensational start to the power play from these two. This time it was really just a wide full toss that what Sheikh's done brilliantly here is open the face on the bat. On the fence, so opening the face very much at the last second was going to aid his reward, and what a partnership this is. It's a flying start for Nepal. They scored 43 of just 24 balls. Bertel has dominated it, but he's had more of the strike to go with it. Nepal are showing why they're such a formidable force here at home. I don't think they'll be overly happy with much of that bowling effort in the first innings actually, but now it's much more like it with the bat. As Chowdhury's guided away for 4. Brilliance from Bertel. The adjustment mid-stroke. He was looking for a ramp, a scoop for 6, but instead he just opened the face on that to get it for 4 through the offside. Outstanding from Bertel.
Look at that. This is brilliant by Kushal Bertel. Initially he wanted to ramp, and the third man fielder was inside the circle, right in the gap between third man and batter point. What a shot by Kushal Bertel. What a mind. I got Yorker length bowled by Chowdhury there.
Well, amazing how confidence and a few runs can affect you as an opening batter. 4 low scores in the group stages. Four low scores for Bertel in the group stages, but he was back to his belligerent best with a 50 in the final and just looks full of confidence again. Look at that strike rate, exactly 200.
In this particular ground in one-day internationals, they're made in ODI 100, and the innings that Asif Sheikh played in Mulpani ground, chasing that target of 160 odd runs against UAE.
Again a full toss, can't pierce the infield but will be able to trot through for the single. Huge challenge, isn't it, for Singapore to come in here. It's actually hit Kushal Bertel, isn't it? They're happy to run through for the single. All's fair and love one more there. It's hit him on the shoulder. No harm done, it looks like.
It was a sure boundary for Asif Sheikh, but Bertel was on the way. He tried to stop the ball with his hand, but it was hit with so power, timing. It hit Kushal Bertel's right shoulder. No harm done.
Guided away again by Bertel, but not going to be able to pierce the infield this time. 5 overs have been bowled. It's 49 for now. So 15 overs remain for Nepal to complete this chase. They need less than 100 though because of this flying start. Are they already going to think about maybe a net run rate boost, or are they just wanting to ensure they take the 2 points however this chase is completed, Paresh?
I just think that Nepal want to complete the chase. Don't worry about the net run rate, because if you win the 3 league stages match, you'll end up at the group top. As simple as that, I think.
Yeah, one other factor to consider is that if you do end up top of this Group A, you will play your semi-final, which will be the critical, fantastic Friday. We're already christening it. The 2 spots will be decided. You'll play that semi-final here at the TU. I know Neapl have experience up at Mulpanny, but surely in terms of getting as many fans in as they would like, in terms of their experiences here at this ground, they'll want to play that semi-final on Friday here at the TU.
Yeah, definitely. They will want to win all the 3 league stages matches and end up at the group winners. And Neapl is in Group A, so they're going to play the runner-up Group B in TU ground if they top the group. Slower ball, beaten completely, Asif Sheikh. A good change of pace by Janak Prakash. 2 dot balls in the 6th over, the final over of the power play.
Yeah, and if you are bowling quick here, you're going to have these skills. That's the leg cutter. Ideal execution. Look at how it's just died in the surface. Everything we've seen race to the boundary has tended to be a full pace delivery, an on-pace delivery. So Prakash, with the change of ends, he's already learning. Singapore will just hope to round out this power play by picking up one of these 2 openers. Smashed almightily by Asif Sheikh with no shortage of style or technique either. A full face of the bat, it goes all the way for 6.
Yeah, that was nicely timed with the full face of the bat, showing the manufacturer's name to the bowler. Look at this, straight hit, like Sachin Tendulkar used to hit it straight down the ground. Prakash bowled and waited for the ball to come to his bat and then executed the shot.
Down the leg side. There's a man down at fine leg. I thought it had just gone fine of him. Every run is being roared on. Hard to get across, Paresh, if you haven't been here, how intimidating that home crowd is. They're almost right on top of you, particularly in that most populous section up by the Nepali Cricket Supporters Society section.
Yes, that is the most popular stand in the section, just side of the side screen. Every fan wants to sit there. Slower ball, but straight to the fielder. Talking about this opening pair, they have been very successful for Nepal for the last 9 or 10 months. Both of them have scored their ODI centuries in this particular ground.
Yeah, and I'd like to take that moment just to remind people that 2 games ago, there was plenty on social media calling for Bertel to be dropped. It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about Monty Desai's tenure as the Nepal head coach. He's really shown faith in his players. Isn't he glad, and aren't Nepal glad to have Bertel back to his best? He's got such a great record here at this ground right from the very start of his international career. Remarkable to think it was only 2 years ago after the pandemic that he came in and debuted and had immediate success against the Netherlands and Malaysia in that tri-series that Nepal won. And it's just that nature he has to score so quickly and freely at the top of the order in these first 6 overs that gives Nepal such an advantage. Striking up to and with no shortage of touch too, as he shows here. He'll keep the strike with a single. 6 have been bowled, the power play is done. It's 57 for none. Fresh looking at the 2 groups, we'll see Oman and Malaysia come into action this afternoon. Oman in very good form with that 4-1 win over Afghanistan A that has helped them prepare for this tournament. But Malaysia, definitely dark horses in this Group A, so nearly beating Bangladesh in the Asian Games.
Yes, that is what we talked about earlier, Malaysia being a very good side. Dark horses, as you said, Lenny. Yeah, we might see an upset in the afternoon. You never know. But talking about Oman, they have been really good. Aqib Ilyas, the top batsman for Oman, he's in terrific form.
There is just one blow, well actually 2 blows if you want to be exact, for Oman. No Jatinder Singh. He misses out with an injury. And also no Jay Adedra, the off spinner. And still no sign of Kawarali coming back from his exile in the United States. Janak Prakash has come out of the attack, and into the attack will come the leg spinner, who we'll see in a moment. Just when our scorers identify him, we'll help them out. It's Anantha Krishna, the leg break bowler. He'll come in from the pavilion end. Starts with a real drag down, but he's got a good field set, what I would describe as a classical T20I field for a leg spinner. 3 men in the deep on the leg side are all in front of square, deep. Square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on. 2 in the deep on the offside, long off, and deep extra. And then plenty of protection in the ring on the offside. So you want to bowl outside off stump and force the batters, that you don't mind if they take a single to the leg side, but force the batters to hit over those 3 fielders in the deep against the spin. Singles are okay. I like this field. Can Krishna find the breakthrough?
Yeah, it's a very good field in terms of the field set. He has to bowl to that field as well. That is what he did the first 2 balls. And talking about Jatinder Singh not being there for Oman, that's a very big blow. The opener, the successful opener for Oman. Nicely swept away by Kushal Bhurtel behind square. Ball running down to the boundary for 4. Beautiful shot, beautiful timing as well, and equally good placement by Kushal Bhurtel.
Even though the field is good, the line has to be better. He's bowling to bowl this outside off stump, but it's angled in towards leg stump, and Bhurtel's too good. Gets it round the corner. The openers have got them off to a flying start, and Singapore, well, they need an answer, and they need the answer quickly. Not coming right now. Cut away, going to be 4 more. Outstanding from Bhurtel. The crowd roar again. And now they are flying through this chase.
This was equally well played by Kushal Bhurtel. Waited for the ball and then got the gap to perfection. Before again on the leg stump, they're trying to push for 2. Good running between the wickets by these 2 batsmen. The understanding is there.
Well, quite brilliant this is. Back-to-back boundaries, and then a ruthless intent to make sure they get 2. He's weighted that intentionally. He's not tried to hit that to the boundary. He's forced them back with 2 aggressive strokes, and he just pops it down and says to Asif Sheikh, let's get 2. Runs away towards the rope, but won't quite get there. Going to be 2 more, and it's going to be 50 for Kushal Bhurtel. It's come from 26 deliveries. 6 4s and 2 6s, and the crowd rise to one of their very favourite, the Butwell boss. He's doing it again. It's 72 for none.
It's back-to-back T20I 50s for Kushal Bhurtel. The one in the finals of the Dabur Honey Nepal T20 International Tri-Series finals against UAE, and now today against Singapore, the ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifiers. And look at the partnership, 72 of 42 these 2 have put on. Kushal Bhurtel starting his debut tournament way back in 2021, playing against Netherlands and Malaysia. He scored 3 back-to-back 50s in that tournament.
He was player of the series, wasn't he, in his first ever tournament. Listen to this though, Paresh. That's his 8th 50-plus score in T20I cricket in just his 25th innings. And that comes off a horribly low scoring trot of 4 consecutive low scores in the group stages. Actually poorly into the attack. His off breaks. Really good young spinner to watch. Gets lots of action on the ball. But if you look at that, 8 50-plus scores, 7 of them 50s alongside the 100 that he made. 104 not out. I think that was at the T20 World Cup qualifier last year. That's 1 every 3 innings. A really good return at the top of the order. He loves this ground in particular, and he's been immense thus far today. And he's going to look to cash in now in a big way, just a single this time. Neapl, they're in cruise control.
Yes, they are cruising towards the victory, and these two opening batters, Kushal Bhutel and Asif Sheikh, they complement each other very well. When Kushal Bhutel is going guns blazing, Asif Sheikh is happy to play second fiddle. Nicely tossed up, misses out Asif Sheikh. There was a hint of a turn for Puri.
Yeah, he will get turned, Paresh, because he gets good action on the ball. Got lots of energy through the crease. He's a brave young bowler too. Being honest, in what was a pretty disastrous campaign, as they get back for a couple at the ACC Men's Premier Cup, Puri was one of the few standouts.
Yes, he was. It was a disaster for Singapore in the ACC Premier Cup back in April. Now they have come out very strong in the T20 format. Scoring 145 against Nepal is a very good achievement in terms of Nepal's bowling attack.
Nicely bowled, so full. But Bertel is quick on the mark, and Manpreet Singh's pads can't stop the bye. Just game day 1 here at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Asia qualifier, the final of this region. 2 spots on offer, but even though we're seeing Nepal dominate this contest, we could be in for a big upset across at the Multani ground. UAE are in early trouble. They're reduced to... Great running again is going to get them 2 here. Get to the end of the 8th over. 79 for none now. I'll give you that update from the Multani ground. They were reduced to 1.24 for 3, chasing down 136 to win against Bahrain. A couple of wickets for Rizwan, but one of my players to watch for the tournament, and Brady Arab and Aryan Sharma and Mohammed Wazeem are all back in the hutch, so Asif Khan and Alison Charafu have a rebuilding job to do. I thought that group over the 2, Paresh, looked more likely for the one that we will see upsets in Bahrain and Kuwait, of real X-Factor players. And with only the top 2 getting a chance to go to the semi-finals and only 1 game versus each team in the group stages, we're going to see some shocks, aren't we? We're going to see some cutthroat associate cricket at its best, with real drama, real intensity, and it all to play for. So all these players, well, they're chasing their dreams.
Yeah, definitely we'll see 1 or 2 upsets. That is what T20 cricket is all about. A lower ranked team winning against a bigger team. Down the leg side, try to sweep the ball rather. I think it touched Asif Sheikh's pad. Yeah, it's been a terrific run chased by Nepal. 79 for no loss. Asif Sheikh 23 of 22, whereas Kushal Bhutel 53 of 28. A good partnership here for Nepal.
This for me is what I would call a template opening partnership for Nepal. Sheikh is 24 off 23. You might say that's not quite scoring quickly enough in T20 cricket. Because of the way Bertel plays, it allows Sheikh to play that beautiful natural game of his. And they complement each other so nicely opening the batting. Right now, with only at the start of this innings them requiring 7.3 per over, it's now less than a run a ball needed. They can try and just canter home. They might, with about 30 or 40 to go, start thinking about net run rate and trying to accelerate, but for now they want to bring up a 100 partnership. They want to just coast the hosts home in this chase. Remember, this is a game that for much of the first innings Nepal looked pretty nervous, and Singapore had much of the ascendancy. They get an overthrow. But this is much more like normal order restored right now for 2023 for the home side Nepal, particularly on home soil. Up until that final, they were unbeaten here in Nepal.
Yes, that was the first game that Nepal was defeated in TU ground or in Nepal in 2023. A very good run for Nepal. This is the last ball of the 9th over. 83 for no loss Nepal.
I know this is going to sound strange. It hasn't just been the fact they've been unbeaten. It's the way in which they've done some of their winning, coming back from the most unpromising of positions, particularly in that Cricket World Cup League 2 run. Played some sparkling cricket. It's been a joy to watch. End of the 9th over. Score is 84 for none. So Paresh was doing a little preview piece last night. I identified 6 things to watch in this tournament. 6 things that might determine qualification from this Asia region. I'm going to give you the 6. The first one is actually, we're seeing it in progress now, the 9 a.m. starts and how much the toss will affect those games. I thought every captain that won a toss at 9 a.m. would choose to bowl first. I was proven wrong as early as 8:15 this morning as Aritra Dutta said no, we'll have a bat. Second thing I wanted to watch was it going to be seam or spin that would dominate the matchups of this tournament. We saw seam dominate in the tri-series that preceded this, but I felt that spin would start to come into its own. And right on cue it does come into its own. It's Akshay Puri gets the most perfectly flighted off break through Asif Sheikh. He looked for the aggressive stroke and he's paid the price. Cleaned up, clean bowled by the youngster.
Yeah, brilliant bowling by the youngster Puri. Asif Sheikh wanted to go for a slop sweep but missed the line completely. And look at the ball dip in front of him. That is the reason why leg stump uprooted. Let's look at from the backside here. Yes, beautiful delivery by Puri. Asif Sheikh has to depart for 27 of 26. Nepal 84 for 1.
Incoming batsman didn't cross inside the field of play. Just having got with the captain of
Well, a change in the order from the tri-series that preceded this tournament for Nepal. They're going to go with their captain, Rohit Paudel at number 3. This is a good move, one that I actually advocated in commentary last week. I thought that it felt like the right position in this format. In ODI cricket, he's absolutely the number 4, no doubt about it. But look at these numbers, very, very healthy. That's across all formats, so T20 cricket, ODI cricket, everything. Best part of 2,000 runs now for Nepal, and a strike rate combined across the formats of 86. He's very good at playing spin, he's very good at manipulating the ball into gaps. And for me, apart from when you want Kushal Malla to come in and impact the game in a big way because of certain reasons, I think Paudel at number 3 makes a lot of sense in this format for me. And he gets off the mark in real style, a drag down from Puri. And Paudel gets a boundary.
Yeah, this is what Rohit is all about. He plays off spinners and all the spinners so well. And look at him, he has ample of time to maneuver the ball all around the park. Look at this again, just waited for the ball. It was a bit quicker than usual that Puri bowled. He just paddled that round the corner for a boundary. Look at that again, Rohit Paudel on top of the bounce. Head very still to play that shot.
Not to err for his nation. He's just so impressive as a leader, as a character, the way he speaks, the way he galvanizes his team. I think his captaincy is getting better and better as he goes on. He always seems calm at the crease, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always calm. He's always calm in the field as well. And the best part of him is this is what I'm talking about. He hits it straight down the ground out of nowhere. This is what I was going to talk about. 10 runs off the over and a wicket. 10 overs gone. Nepal 94 for 1.
Well, what a blow. What a strike from the captain himself. He's only marginally over pitch, but Powell says good enough. I'll get the long handle out and I'll clear the ropes with consummate ease. Beautifully judged 6. And these home fans, they're getting good reward for their early start, aren't they? We look at the 2 runworms. We'll just come to one of the graphics here. You'll see that Nepal have surged ahead in this contest in a big way, despite the loss of that first wicket. And surely now, the 2 points isn't in question. The question is how quickly can they get this done? You have to remember, with Oman and Malaysia both playing very good cricket, and Singapore the least in form probably of the 8 teams in this competition, you might not just want 2 points against them, you might want as big a result as possible.
Yeah, Jana Prakash has been introduced back into the attack from the pavilion end. Yeah, I was about to talk about Rohit Paudel, the way he bats. I'll come back to that. Nicely driven, but straight to the fielder. Looks in the mood, Kushal Bhurtel. He wants to score quickly. He wants to finish the game very early.
One of the things I'm loving about coming from that tri-series into this qualifier is the international aspect to it. I know that some people have difficulties accessing the feed for that tri-series, but with millions tuning in around the world on ICC.tv, it gives us a chance to say a warm good morning and a hello to everyone all the way from New Zealand to the north of Canada. We've had messages, and those messages are flooding in, particularly from Nepali fans. We've heard of people waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's crashed my Instagram inbox again. It won't load. So apologies if we can't get back to you. Maybe use that hashtag T20 World Cup rather than message directly to me at Cricket Badger. I'm trying to get to some of the messages. Ahmed Adhikari watching from Indiana in the United States of America. I'd say it's the middle of the night there. JD Bahara watching on from Seattle. What time is it there? He says Jai Nepal. Down the leg side, that'll be given as a wide. Nice to hear from some Singapore fans too. Anirudh cheering on the boys from Singapore. He says we are the underdogs today, but hoping for the best. Riwaj watching on from the United Kingdom, up at 3:15 a.m. is when he woke up, and he's hoping that the boys can win. And 3:15 a.m. is when he woke up, and he's hoping that the boys can win and start the tournament well. And it's lovely to hear from everyone. So many coming in, particularly from the United States and Australia. That seems to be where many Nepali expats have made their new lives.
Yes, it's the US or Canada or either Australia. These are the 3 big countries that Nepalis go for their further studies.
And does that make that potential of a return to the T20 World Cup for Nepal, does that make it all the more special as this one's tickled around the corner for a single? If Nepal did get there, it's not obviously any formality or certainty. They'll have to play really well to get there, but if they did get there and they ended up with some games in the United States, I think we'd see thousands and thousands of American-based fans, Nepali origin American-based fans there to support Nepal.
Yes, definitely. If Nepal do qualify for the World Cup, T20 World Cup that is next year, we'll definitely see thousands and thousands of Nepali citizens staying in US. Nicely guided.
We saw it in the Cricket World Cup League 2 series at the Musa Stadium. Was they're going to run an overthrow here. Singapore's fielding has not been at the level that Nepal's was. We saw healthy crowds there in their thousands in Texas, but I suspect if any of those games that are going to be played in New York or Florida Or Texas, the 3 host venues that have been announced by the ICC for next year's World Cup in the United States. You could see remarkable crowds. And the best thing about that tournament next year for me, Paresh, we're going to see an open draw, 20 teams. It'll be seeded, of course, but 4 groups of 5. This is nicely driven, but protection out there. So whoever does qualify, warm applause around the ground for it. So you've got a real chance of going in against South Africa, Australia, or England. Give me 2 test nations you'd love to see Nepal play against if they got there.
Australia and India.
The 2 big ones.
Yes, absolutely. Yesterday, look at India's bowling.
Well, it was only really one word for it, sublime, wasn't it? Mohammad Shami in particular, I think, is such an underrated cricketer. Kuldeep Yadav, outstanding. Far too good for England. They stayed perfect in that Cricket World Cup down south of the border here on their home soil. 11 have been bowled. It's 101 for 1. So in the ad break, let's see if we can get a few more messages in from all the way around the world. Pravin Acharya watching on from Australia says, hello Andrew and Paresh Dyer, boys will make us proud. I'm sure we're going to qualify for next year. Bertel, what a beauty, he says. He said very, very well. Durga Baral has a question for you, Paresh. Do you think Nepal can qualify for next year's T20 World Cup?
Absolutely. The way Nepal has been playing for the last 3 or 4 months, they will definitely have a chance to qualify for the T20 World Cup next year.
Interesting comment here from Nirvak on Instagram. He says, at cricket badge, is Dipender Singh Airi the all-time best Nepalese player in terms of ability? He says, I want my name to claim this first, Nirvak. And he's really hoping that injury is not too bad and that he's back by the semi-finals at least.
We actually don't know about injury, what is wrong with him. We do know that's a leg injury. It was occurred in the warm-up after the toss, but we don't know the extent of the injury, so we'll have to just clarify with the team management and the medical staff down there.
Yeah, it's something I'll ask Rohit Patel in the post-matches. This is so nearly bowled. I'm not sure how it's missed the leg stump. The umpire's had to think about it. He's initially given it wide, and now I think he's rescinded that, so no signal would indicate runs to me. That's a drop chance, and the keeper Manpreet Singh has put one down.
Yes, it looked like it didn't touch anything, but the umpire's given as a hit. It looked like he hit the bat. This is another one I was talking about. Hit it high up in the air. This is what Rohit Patel is all about. Out of nowhere, he just smashes down the ground for a 6.
Well, catching practice in the crowd, and it's put down. Hit up towards the most packed part of the ground. You get such a good view up there. You feel like you're right on top of the action. And this is an almighty blow from Rohit Patel, right into the hitting arc and very nearly out of the park entirely. Put down. He's wanting to end this in a hurry. He's looked at his most fluent that we've seen in the last 10 days or so. That includes the tri-series that preceded this. And he's flown to 18 off 9 balls, including 2 big maximums. Coming in, Uday Raj Pandey says, I'm watching from Japan. I took a day off work just to watch today. That's the passion of the Nepal fans. Lovely to hear from everyone all around the world enjoying the action on ICC TV and indeed here in Nepal on Kantapur. Tickled round the corner. It's a classic Rohit Patel shot. It has the pace surely. And Anta gives up the chase. It's 4 more. Nepal, what a start to the tournament they're having.
Rohit Patel, he has big hits, big strong hits, and he has such a neat touch as well. A complete batsman. He knows what he's doing in the center. He calculates everything. Look.
Rating that would be for the bowler. Didn't do a huge amount wrong and still conceded a boundary. Didn't do a huge amount wrong and still conceded a boundary. Patel wants a single, Bertel doesn't. 12 have been bowled. 114 for 1. going to try keep going with some of these messages. Message from Space in a Nutshell. That's a great Instagram handle. Who do we think will be the two finalists in this tournament? I'm going to put you on the spot, Paresh. Over to you. Who will be the two qualifiers?
It'll be, we all talk about El Clasico, UAE and Nepal.
Well, they're the two highest ranked sides. I can understand why you're making that shout, but the UAE have a real battle on their hands up at the Mulpani ground. They're halfway, in fact over halfway through the chase, and at the end of the 11th over, 61 for 4 is the score. And Asif Khan is being dismissed for 23. So it's now over to Alassane Sharafu and Ali Nazir to try and get it done. They need 136 to win, as they're going to see Philippe Omodarai come into the attack for the first time with those little stump-to-stump medium pacers that he bowls. No Basil Hamid at the crease yet. That's a surprise given his form in the Tri-Series. That Group B, it looks like a bit of a group of death to me, Paresh.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, good teams there. Oman, Hong Kong, UAE, Bahrain and Kuwait. Mind you, Kuwait has played very well to qualify for the Asia Finals. And even Bahrain.
Just got a sense as well that Hong Kong were starting to warm to the task. Babur Hyatt in particular, such an important player. I think if we're going to see upsets, unless Malaysia can do something special, which they could here in Group A, I think those upsets are mainly going to come in Group B. Oh dear. One of the biggest cheers of the day is Rohit Paudel will turn 1 into 3 somehow with an overthrow. That's maybe the 4th or 5th overthrow we've seen already. The wheels well and truly off now for Singapore.
Yes, it's well and truly off. If Dipender Singh Aire was at the crease, I think they would have run 4 runs there. Rohit Paudel and Dipender Singh Aire, the fastest amongst the Nepali players. Look at Rohit Paudel, 25 of 13 already. Kushal Bhurtel, 60 of 36.
Well, a big shout out here to Sujan as well. He's watching from Japan. 10 Nepali friends, they all took the day off work. They're out there working, they're immigrated there, and they're all watching the action live on ICC TV. Guys, I hope you're enjoying it. It's so brilliant to be able to come together like that. Ashok watching on from Adelaide in Australia, so he says Jai Nepal. Bikram watching on from Hagley, down in Christchurch, the Hagley Oval. He says he loves Paresh Lahani's commentary. Bikram Acharya, lovely to hear from you, sir. And Samir Rajpant says, we've woken up early here in Edmonton in Canada. Please give us a shout out. Pleasure to do so, mate.
In the meantime, the ball stayed very low. The last ball cut away by Rohit Paudel, but there's a fielder there, there's protection. 13 gone. Nepal 119 for 1.
Always love answering your questions that come into us on social media. This one from Eva Yed. He says, Nepal are doing great here. Can you please explain, though, how it's going to impact associate cricket if the Netherlands finish in the top 8 in the World Cup and qualify for the Champions Trophy 2025? It won't affect the overall structure. It will obviously be a great boost for associate cricket to have the Dutch there at the Champions Trophy. It'll be the first time since 2004 when the USA played at the Champions Trophy, when it was, I think it was a 10-team event, maybe a 12-team event even, that will have had an associate play at it. But the Netherlands would rightly earn their place there. I think there's every chance they could beat England in their final game. If they do so, they'll finish in it's actually the top 7 plus Pakistan. And yeah, it won't affect the structure. Netherlands will still be in the next Cricket World Cup League 2 that will get going next year. And I don't think there's a better time to be involved in associate cricket. The ICC structures, and indeed here in Asia, the ACC structures are giving more competitive playing opportunities for all of these teams than ever before. And in the next right cycle for the ICC, every World Cup will expand. The ODI World Cup for the men will turn back to 14 teams. In the 20 over version, the T20 World Cup, it will expand to 20 teams with that open draw, 5 groups of 4, and that's what we're playing for here. So there's a real chance, after what has been, particularly through the pandemic, some difficult years for associate cricket, there's such a good structure now for these players to show how good they are and to rise up the rankings and get to World Cups.
Nicely cut away by Kushal Purtel behind square. That's another boundary for him. Moves to 65 of 39. Nepal well truly into the chase. Just 22 more needed. And talk about the associate members, Lenny. We can see Netherlands how big they have had an impact on world cricket. They've beaten South Africa. They've beaten Bangladesh in the World Cup.
You just beat both those sides. They beat them out of sight. Fire is the most complete associate performance ever over any full member. Such was the comprehensive nature of the victory. But the Netherlands have just taken their game to a new level, and I think it's a template that every associate side now has to follow. I think Neapl are doing the exact same. They're doing all the basics right. As this one skews off an outside edge. The direct hit has just caused Paudel to rush, but he did get home safely for the single. And that template they're using, excellent in the field, brilliant in the running between the wickets, batting all the way down to number 11, bowling as few extras as possible. It may all sound very basic, but it all adds up to put pressure on the full members. Occasionally they're going to be beaten out of sight like Australia did to them. They were competitive for 35 overs that contest, and then Glenn Maxwell just took it away from them. That's going to happen because on the whole the full members have better players and more depth. But that template the Dutch have shown us, I think all of the associates should now be looking at that. Even the lower ranked full members, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, Ireland, Afghanistan can learn from it. And it's a template that can be implemented across ODI cricket, T20 cricket, and I want to see more of it from the associate sides to come.
Even talking about Afghanistan, they are the test playing nation, but they beat England and they beat Pakistan for the first time in the one-day internationals. Nicely bowled, but single taken by Kushal Purtel. 14 gone, Nepal 127 for 1.
We're trying to get to some of these comments in between the overs to show you the partnership quickly between Paudel and Purtel. It's been almost as impressive as the opening one. 43 coming off just 29 balls, and already the victory song for Nepal is maybe a little bit early ringing out across the T International Cricket Ground. Nice to hear all of your messages. I'm afraid they are genuinely crashing my Instagram inbox, so maybe try it over on Twitter. Shambujun Kumar says, Lenny, it's midnight in Texas. Our boys are good. We are sure going to qualify. As this one steered away for 4 more. It's all too easy right now for Nepal. There's a confidence we're seeing from their fans that we haven't seen historically, and maybe the cardiac kids, they need to be renamed.
Yes, that was very nicely played by Kushal Purtel. Played it late into the gap for a boundary. Moves to 71 now, Kushal Purtel.
Singapore here, despite that impressive second wicket partnership in the first innings from Singapore.
Actually, Singapore did bat well in the first innings, in the first power play. But after losing those wickets, they ended up very well, 145 in the 20 overs. Roy Powell tried to cut that, and credit goes to the Nepali batters, the way Kushal Purtel batted, and even Asif Sheikh, he played a second fiddle.
We go back to that discussion about the Netherlands doing the basics right. Nepal have outclassed Singapore in those basics, haven't they? Much better in the field. Their ball striking and rotation of strike with the batting they're running between the wickets has been much better. Just the overall skill set looks like a more professional Nepal outfit. Yes, they've got the benefit of home conditions, but this has been turned out to be a very one-sided contest.
Yes, it has been a one-sided contest, to be honest. Nicely driven down the ground.
Yeah, from here, the two batters certainly both looking for red ink, but they'll also be conscious of wanting to get this done as quickly as possible. Maybe even ice it in the 16th over, the next over?
Yeah, most probably just 12 runs to win. Look at the required rate, it's under 2.5 runs per over. They might well as finish the next over and get a good net run rate under their belt.
there's times that we look at net run rate and how it can affect things, and they tend to only worry about it in the final game. Worry about it right from the off. As we get to the end of the 15th, and the score moves to 135 for 1. The most realistic way that net run rate could come into play would be, you would see if Singapore lost all 3 games, and then Malaysia, Oman and Nepal shared 2 wins each, then it would come down to net run rate.
Yes, that is the only case we might see the points shared by the 3 teams and net run rate coming into play. But we need an upset from Malaysia against Oman and against probably Nepal.
So 5 overs remain in theory, but Nepal only need 11. They'll want to get this done as quickly as possible. I think that will have been the discussion between Paudel and Bertel, who both played with beautiful fluency. You can see immediately Paudel's trying to press the accelerator, trying to get this done. He's a selfless player, Paudel. He'll put the team first.
Yes, that is why he came down the track. Ramesh Kalimutu is a very skilled customer. You can just stay at the crease and just maneuver him around. Pull that away from outside the off stump, but straight to the fielder at deep mid wicket. Rohit Paudel wants to finish it off in this particular over.
I do love hearing your messages, and I know there's people in the crowd who message it too, but nothing too spectacular happens from this ball. I'm going to read you this one. This comes from Aryal, who's in Perth in Western Australia, near the giant Optus Stadium, and he's watching our Rhinos play, and he never misses them. Don't tell anyone, he says, but I called in sick for work today to enjoy the coverage. Dandavad, the tackle leader, that's very kind. Nice to hear from you, Ariel. And I'm glad that your decision to maybe watch the cricket instead of work for the day has been rewarded with what's going to be a very comfortable Nepal victory.
Yes, in the meantime, Rohit Paudel coming down the track, trying to hit the ball too hard. Just stay at your crease. Outside the option, nicely timed, but there's a misfield, 2 runs taken by these 2 batsmen. Good running between the wickets, and they're just ampling for 2 runs.
It just amazes me how good they are between the wickets. Yeah, it's pretty much across the board. All 11 players, or certainly the top 7 or 8 batters, probably 9 if you include Sampal Kami, all excellent between the wickets. I think in the first innings that would have just been a single, could have been a dot in fact. They just run so effectively. 2 again here. In the first innings that was only a single, and they've cantered home for the second. 6 runs come from that over, 4 remain, 1-4-1 for 1.
Ananta to continue from the pavilion, and a dot ball, a rare dot ball in the 17th over, the first ball after the 17th over.
I just wonder, is Bertel going to try and give us a bit of Mahendra Singh Dhoni here? Dance down the track and finish in style. It's 5 to win, a maximum would do it. Dance down the track it is, but not quite enough to finish it off like MS Dhoni. It was exactly what he attempted, and maybe the only blot on the copybook of what's been a really good day for Nepal. Kushal Bertel caught out by Thilipan, just inches inside the rope for what would have been a match-winning 6, and he's gone for a marvellous 74.
Yeah, it was a very smart catch by the fielder there. Exactly like what Rohit Podal took. Beautiful knock. I beg your pardon, it's from 48 deliveries. Nepal 1 for 1 for 2.
Guys, lefty. Party.
Well, it's been festival season here in Nepal. Wonderful 2-week festival at Dashain, just coming to a close after the 5 days of public holiday that were enjoyed and that emptied out the valley of Kathmandu last week and gave us those beautiful shots of the clear skies after the monsoon rains. And they've had a field day, they've had a great day out. Kushal Mallet's going to be in at number 4. We know what this youngster's like. He could well try to end it with one blow. I wonder what his captain said to him. The leg spinner's going to come around the wicket, so he's going to be bowling into his hitting arc with the ball turning in unless he goes with a googly. It's 5 to win. Is Mala going to do something special? Well, of course he is. It's quite simply a walk-off 6. The moment he hit it, he just started to walk towards the pavilion. He's only going to face one ball today, Kushal Malla. It was all too predictable, wasn't it? And Nepal have won by 8 wickets, with the young left-hander finishing off in the grandest of styles. And it's a dream start. A dominant 8-wicket win to get their T20 World Cup qualification adventure underway. And thousands, if not millions of fans across the country will be very happy with their Monday morning's work. Nepal off to the dream start.